Hey y'all, it's Sharon and I'm back to share another policing experience with you guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm a retired police officer. I worked for 20 years for a southeastern city in the US. I was also in the military. I'm sharing my policing experiences in hopes of helping others in similar situations and also to provide a different perspective, if you will. I said something in the last video about policing. Does it enhance the fear of the community or does it reduce the fear in the community? And I had to admit, the type of policing that I was doing, it was magnifying the fear within the community. I equated it to my own community that I lived in and how I policed my own community as opposed to where I worked. And I wanted to reflect on some of the fears policing enhances in certain communities. I'm gonna be truthful. Certain communities, policing it enhances the fear because we're always there. We're always doing details. We're always doing quality of life issues, dealing with those, or doing details, trying to catch, some wanted person. Another fear of what did they call them? Roadblocks or quality checks or something like that. You'll see those going on all the time too. And some people are gonna, I was one of them, blame the actual people in the area, the residents. And I'm like, I admitted it in the last video. These people, who are these people? Poor people, brown, black, white, poor people. And I mentioned how it built up this us versus them in me when I put on the uniform. And then I also admitted I became them at times, which was ironic to say the least. I take off my uniform and then I'm seeing some of the same treatments that people are basically telling me when I drive up, auntie, that office over there is dirty, or auntie, that office over there doesn't know how to talk to folks. And then I experienced some of that when I was out of uniform. And the fear that I saw while policing, I put on my uniform, and I think every officer does. We put it on with pride. We're going to help some folks. We're going to do some good things. But then when you walk into an area, they didn't know Sharon. They just saw the uniform. And before I got to know people in the neighborhood, they would just look at me the same. You dirty, or you're an Uncle Tom. If they really knew who Uncle Tom was, they might not have said that. But they would call me dirty cop, or you with them, or something like that, until they got to know me. Then it was auntie, or it was Sarge, or like the older woman, the older ladies used to tell me, "Oh, we're so glad that you're here because we can sit outside," or they call me Wonder Woman, and that felt good because I knew I was reducing the fear. I knew that I was making it a little bit easier in terms of they would come up to me and tell me, you know, um, as opposed to riding by and people spitting on the street while you're riding by. I didn't take offense to that, but they meant it offensively, but I never took offense to that. Or they'll look at you and side eye you, or as you drive by, they'll yell something out. And I knew that was a fear for a lot of people. Now, yes, the knuckleheads were there, mixed in with the good folks. But as an officer, I learned how to discern the knuckleheads from the good people. And that area wasn't about them versus us anymore. It was about, okay, what do they need? What do they need me to do? Remember, policing is a service. And so I started to change my mindset. Now, like I said, when I first came in, I was running and gunning with the best of them. Hopping fences, running after folks, doing all that stuff. And not to say that it doesn't happen, but I started to broaden my view and open up my mind towards, okay, these folks here, just like any folks anywhere else, they want the same things. They want to feel safe, and they don't want to be afraid to leave their houses because the police are out there. And that's what you would find a lot of times. So again, I had to look at the way I was policing my own community where I lived as opposed to policing where I worked. And there are differences in terms of how much crime is around, if you will. But as an officer, with my sergeant coming down on me because I want to keep my days off and then having to go get the bodies, we'd go to the poor areas, the not so nice areas, because if we flooded the ritzy areas, imagine what would happen. I remember putting up my hand several times when we were doing details. Can we go to the ritzy area? I won't tell you the name of the area, but, and they'd be like, Walters, this is a targeted patrol and da 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 da. I did it like 3 times. Then I stopped putting my hand up because they would just ignore me. But I was trying to get people to think, like, we're always going to these poor areas and we're taking good people out. Yeah, they might mess up and do something stupid, but we're taking some folks out, providers, babysitters, teachers, siblings, and then it gets run down. And then we wonder why. We're part of the problem. At least I'll admit it. We were a part of it. We added to the problem. How about that? So when we go into these neighborhoods now, I see people, I see human beings. I'm not saying every officer's like that, but some of the ones that I even knew, I was right along with them. They were a little less than human until I started to see human, until I had it happen to me a couple of times, and it made me broaden my view. So I hope that helps someone. As usual, remember this, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Check out our online store, hit like and subscribe if you think something was interesting, comment below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.